Hey guys, this is our second video on Christmas movies, and this time movies that are actually religious in nature and have to talk about the Nativity. There aren't a lot of these kinds of movies. It's kind of interesting. Filmmakers and production companies aren't that interested in taking this on. When you talk about the life of Jesus, people want to focus more on the crucifixion. So you could go all the way back to 1977 for Franco Zeffirelli's Jesus of Nazareth. It's actually a British-Italian collaboration miniseries. The intent was to be ecumenical, appeal to Christians of any stripe. The miniseries stars Olivia Hussey as Mary. Now, Olivia Hussey had been Juliet in Franco Zeffirelli's 1968 Romeo and Juliet. She's beautiful and she's an effective actress. Shot on location in Morocco and Tunisia. It's aiming for historical authenticity and pageantry, and it's combining the Gospels together. If you watched maybe the first 90 minutes of that miniseries, I think you can find it on YouTube, you would probably have a really lovely Christmas story experience. Until The Passion of the Christ, which isn't a nativity story, we don't really get any more nativity movies. And the reason we get them after The Passion of the Christ is The Passion of the Christ had a $30 million budget and it grossed $600 million worldwide. And so this moved the producer of that film to propose The Nativity Story, which came out in 2006. Now, The Nativity Story is not going to do as well. It's got a $35 million budget and it does $46 million worldwide. That's an interesting question for social critics and movie critics at the same time. Why do we want to see this horrible death? Why are people much more interested in seeing this horrible death than they are in seeing this miraculous birth? The Nativity Story that comes out in 2006, it's directed by Catherine Hardwicke, who had done Lords of Dogtown and 13. It's going to star a whole bunch of very cool actors. Keisha Castle-Hughes from Whale Rider is going to be Mary. Oscar Isaac, who you might know from Dune, is going to be Joseph. Ciarán Hinds, the Irish actor, is going to play Herod. Shura Aghdashloo is going to play Elizabeth. And then Palestinian actress Hayam Abbas is going to actually play Mary's mother. So it's shot on film. It's like right before we start moving all the way into digital. So it's shot on film in Italy and Morocco. Again, they're also going for this historical location authenticity. And it's interesting, when it first came out, the reviews were pretty mixed. You know, they were like, this doesn't do anything very interesting. It's just the story. And filmically, it's not doing anything interesting. Looking back 20 years later, I actually find it beautiful because we don't shoot on film anymore, because we don't shoot on location anymore, because everything looks like it's either a soap opera or a TV show, or it's just made me sad for what we've lost, visually speaking, in movies. They're not doing anything crazy. They're not, this is not Jean-Luc Godard's Hail Mary. This is a movie that you can watch as a practicing believer and pretty much feel like, okay, they got that story right, and you can be moved by it. So that was in 2006. Then you have The Chosen that comes out, and Chosen has its own nativity. Let me talk about The Chosen. Okay, so I saw this one scene from The Chosen. Somebody played it in Sunday school, I think. And it was incredibly effective. It's the scene where Jesus is talking to the woman by the well. And I was so moved during that scene. So I was like, okay, I'm going to try this out. I'd heard about The Chosen. I'd never really watched it. I didn't know where to watch it, One Easter, I was like, let's do this. And I was spending Easter alone, and I had a lot of time on my hands. And the very first episode, I was like, I'm sorry, no. The sets were just too clean. And again, it was digital. It just didn't look real. It just looked like a TV show. There's a scene with I think it's like Peter and his wife, and they're like in their very lovely condo on the west side. I mean, there were just a lot of things for me that didn't work, and so I've never actually watched it. So if you love The Chosen, you should tell me why and whether or not I should try again. But The Chosen comes out in 2017. It's hugely popular, and so people are going to try again. What we get are things like Journey to Bethlehem from 2023, which just makes me giggle. It has Antonio Banderas as Herod. He's the big star in that. It's a musical. It really is like Beauty and the Beast meets Fiddler on the Roof, because Mary is being told that she's going to get married and she doesn't want to get married, and they even dress her in yellow, and she's like, I want to be a teacher. It's not historically accurate in any way. I don't want to get married, I want to be a teacher. Like, what? Like, this is not within the worldview of that historical person at all. So that kind of threw me. It's got some rock ballads, so if you're into rock ballads, this might be the one for you. But for me and for my time, if I'm going to revisit any of these kinds of movies, I really think it's going to be the Nativity Story. Again, the production, it just looks beautiful. There's like these iconic images, but there's also like just some mundane images that really move me, like Mary by the riverside, by scrub oaks, hanging out, trying to get some work done, and then this angel shows up. So anyway, you probably have movies that you love that are about the Nativity, so let me know in the comments and we'll have a chat.